Hello, I'd like to welcome you to this instructional video on the 6 healing sounds, a journey to health and happiness. My name's Dr. Richard Gold, PhD, LAC. I come to you with 35 years of experience in traditional Chinese medicine as a practitioner. 25 years I've been teaching traditional Chinese medicine, also known as TCM. In 1986, I was a founder and for many years a board member of the Pacific College of Oriental Medicine with campuses in San Diego, Chicago, and New York City. I'm a published author. I've had the pleasure of teaching internationally and over much of the earth. And currently, I'm the president and executive producer of Metta Mindfulness Music. The subject of our video today is the 6 healing sounds, known in Chinese as Liu Zhi Shui. This concept first appeared in a book by Dao Hong Jing, known as On Caring for the Health of the Mind and Prolonging the Lifespan. And this dates from far back at 420, the period between 420 and 589 AD. The 6 healing sounds is based on an important theory of Chinese philosophy known as the 5 elements, also known as the 5 phases. And this theory is used to describe the interactions and relationships between phenomena that we experience here on Earth, both in human beings and in nature. The early writings on the 5 elements can be found in an ancient text known as the Intercanon of the Yellow Emperor, and this dates back to between the 1st and 4th century BC. So we're really looking at a very, very ancient and long-standing tradition. Here we see a pictorial chart of the 5 elements. And I'll explain this in a little more detail, but try to hold this in your mind as we move forward. Notice the lines moving between the elements of wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, and also the lines going between them on the inner aspect of the circle. The 5 elements describes a complex link between the physiology and pathology of human beings and the internal organs. And this was used extensively by physicians in ancient times and in clinical practice today. It describes the relationships not only between the internal organs of a human being, but also between a human being and the natural environment. In more modern parlance, we'd say that this is describing a holistic view of human beings and an interactive manner of the relationship between human beings and their natural environment. There are 2 primary energetic relationships described in the 5 elements or 5 phases. The first of these is the mutual generation. If you can remember in the chart, the outer circle, we call this the mother-child cycle, and this is the nourishment cycle. This creates multiplication and promotion of energy and vitality. But there's also the inner circle. We know this is the control cycle, and this is describing mutual restriction and restraint. And this is vitally important, especially when we're dealing with human physiology, because it's describing a system of checks and balances. Because in human health, too much is also an imbalance, just as too little is an imbalance. So the system of balancing of checks and balances is vital to the maintenance of health. Here we see a chart describing some of the correspondences. This is an abridged chart of correspondences, but I think if you look at it closely, and I'll describe a couple of aspects of it, we can see how this can be used for self-understanding and also for clinical understanding. So the first element, we have the elements on the far left part of this chart of water, wood, fire, earth, and metal. We see the associated organ, and I'll go through describing the water element in detail a little bit, and so you can then extrapolate to the other elements. The main organ related to water is the kidneys, and the secondary organ is the urinary bladder. The part of the structure, the physiology of the body relates to the bones. So we say if the water element is strong and vital, that the bone structure will be strong and vital in a person. The sensory orifice relates to the ears, so hearing loss or ringing in the ears often will be related back to the water element. The emotion related to it is going to be fear and anxiety. The beneficial or the attribute of that is going to be willpower or courage. And the flavor, because we can use flavor and taste in our cooking and actually in our herbal prescriptions, and salty. So if we use salt in a formula, or we add salt to foods, we're able to direct the energy of the food more towards the kidneys and the water element. And these kind of correspondences go out through all of the elements. Now, one thing to keep in mind is it's the interrelationship. So if the kidney energy is deficient, it might be that the metal is not nourishing in the mother-child or the nourishment promotion cycle. So it becomes quite complex. But this chart and these ideas of correspondence really helps the practitioner and an individual with interest in this field to begin to target where there might be a discrepancy or disharmony or a weakness or an excess in their health and physiology. So often, both students and practitioners emphasize disharmony or pathology. And because this is a journey to health and wellness and happiness, I'd like to take a few moments to discuss the attributes of each of the elements and their associated organs. Now, this is very important because one thing to keep in mind is we have all of these aspects. Some are going to be in excess, some are going to be deficient, some are going to be balanced. And people will tend towards one more than the other. So it's not like you're only going to be metal or only going to be water. Now let's look at these in a little bit of detail now. So the attributes related to the metal element, which deals with the lungs and the large intestine, is this was going to help a person to be well organized, self-disciplined, conscientious. They like structure in their life and they do things to build structure in their life. There's a clear sense of justice and righteousness, and they possess a deep inner strength. The water element relates to the kidneys as the primary organ, and the attributes of this is going to be a sense of fearlessness and courageousness. People with strong energy in their water element are going to be determined, and they can endure many hardships in pursuit of their goals. They can persevere by their willpower. There's a tendency with strong kidney energy and strong water energy towards longevity, but there's also this ability to create a stillness, a quietude, a contemplativeness in their nature. Wood, which relates to the liver and the gallbladder, people with strong aspects and energy in their wood are going to have clear vision and goals, and they know how to bring their ideas into fruition. And this is so important for us as human beings because ideas are easy to come up with, but the diligence that takes an idea all the way to fruition takes a really strong wood element in a person's constitution. Wood element people tend to excel at planning and decision making, and they have a sense of benevolence and kindness in their hearts. Fire relates to the heart and small intestine, and also to what we know as the triple warmer, or the sanjiao, and the pericardium. People that have balance in their fire, or we all have an aspect of this or a tendency towards this, will tend to be quite charismatic, especially if fire is their dominant element. Fiery people tend to have strong leadership qualities. They have a sense of honor. They also have this ability to be filled with love and joy and to express it and to feel it both. And they tend to be quite enthusiastic. Earth relates to the spleen and pancreas and the stomach in the Chinese medical model. People manifesting a strong earth energy will be very, very well grounded. They'll be nurturing in their life, caring for others. They'll be compassionate and open. They'll have the ability to bring others together and serve as good mediators. They're very reliable people and they have a sense of fairness. Now, moving from traditional Chinese medicine, I want to discuss a little bit of the emerging fields in neuroscience and sound healing. And this is going to fall into the category of what we hear can transform our brains and our lives. Because when sound is coming into our energy field, we don't hear a sound only through our ears, but every cell of our bodies pick up sound as vibrations. And sound, we know from scientific research, and it's a growing field of research, can help heal on a physical level. This is because it touches us deeply and transforms us on both the emotional and spiritual planes. Sound can redress imbalances on every level of our physiologic functioning and can play a positive role in the treatment of virtually any medical disorder. Now, I'm not saying sound will cure, but it will definitely could be a part of a healing trend, or a trend of back to health and back to balance for an individual. Sound is one among the most transformative and healing energies on our planet. Sound can make us relax and can make us calm. And likewise, sound can agitate us and make us uneasy. But we can purposely use sound to help calm us. Sound and music can move us to great heights of emotion. Sound, we know, can restore harmony and balance. And sound has the ability to help us feel more healthy and feel well. Now, with sound in mind, a concept of disease can be, we can say that illness is when a body becomes out of tune. There's a dissonance. When something becomes disease, when an individual or even a plant becomes disease, its measurable frequency changes. It begins to vibrate differently than it did previously. And again, this is quite measurable. And it is possible to apply harmonizing vibrations which will help steer or direct the body back to health and be part of an important part of healing of an individual. To purposely use sound to move or sway a person back into a more healing, a more consonant vibration, and away from dissonance. Now, in modern neuroscience, we have a term for this, which we call brain entrainment. And by definition, this is any practice that purposely aims to cause brainwave frequencies to fall into step with a periodic stimulus having a frequency corresponding to the intended brain state, such as sleep or meditation. Our human brain and our human nervous system has a tendency to change its dominant EEG frequency, it's a measurable frequency of brain activity, towards the frequency of a dominant external stimulus. So we can use sound as a tool to entrain the brain to move into deeper alpha and theta brainwaves. And these are the frequencies that are associated with meditation, calmness, health, and the ability of the body to restore itself to a healthy frequency and then a healthy physiology. These are the frequencies of alpha and theta that induce deep sleep, peaceful states, meditative states, clarity of mind, vibrant health, and intuition. So we can use brain entrainment to purposely introduce sounds into the brain to affect the measurable cycles of the brain, and we can use this in a purposeful way to bring the body and mind back to health. Now, part of what we're discussing with 6 healing sounds is the utilization of what in Chinese medicine and Chinese physical culture is known as Qigong. And I've included some of the other ways that Qigong is written in English so that to help avoid any confusion where you might see something labeled Qigong and you think, well, that's not how I know Qigong. So it's spelled in these variety of ways. And Qigong can be literally translated as life energy cultivation or breath exercises. And this is a practice of aligning breath, movement, awareness for exercise, healing, and meditation. Qigong is a means to still our mind and enter a state of consciousness that brings serenity, clarity, and bliss. Now, Qigong was combined with the healing sounds about 1,200 years after the healing sounds first appeared in practice and in literature. Because the original 6 healing sounds only involved breath and sound. There weren't physical movements. Later in the Ming Dynasty, which we date from about 1368 to 1644 AD, 2 authors wrote books, Hu Wenhuan and Gao Liang, that added the physical exercise or the breathing exercise to the healing sounds, and this enhanced the practice and it enhanced the benefit and the healing qualities of the 6 healing sounds. Now I'd like to introduce specifically the healing sounds and also demonstrate the exercises. Now these exercises are I'm going to do them seated because I want you to recognize that these can be done by persons of any age or any level of vitality. In fact, a lot of these exercises can be done even lying down if a person was infirmed and not able to function well vertically or even non-ambulatory. In the 6 healing sounds and in the cycle of energy of the body, we start with metal, the sound of the lungs. The lungs are the most superficial of the yin organs. We say the lungs connect the inside to the outside. Now in the practice of Qigong, I'll walk you through this. It's going to look like this. We begin with the practice of just calming ourselves, following the breath in and out. And to enhance the practice, we want to bring attention to the lungs. So we can actually bring our hands to the lungs and we can smile down at the lungs. So the sound we're going to use for the lungs is a series of S's. In the practice of the 6 healing sounds, the volume of the sound is not important. In fact, advanced practitioners, it's almost inaudible, the sound. They're just working more of an internal practice. As we're going to do this exercise, we're going to be focusing on breathing in righteousness, courage, justice, and detachment. And we're going to breathe out, we're going to let go of grief, sadness, desperation, and sorrow. We can actually think in terms of affirmations, using the ancient knowledge of the elements, meaning you are just, you are deliberative, and you are assertive. So the exercise will look like this. We're going to sit at the edge of our chair. We're going to follow the breath. We want to do diaphragmatic breathing down into the abdomen. And with my inhale, I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to follow my hands up, breathing in. When I reach eye level, I'm going to rotate the palms. Then I'm going to extend the arms out, pushing with the heels of the hands. This is all during an inhale. Of the exhale, I'm going to go drop my shoulders, let my arms float down, completing the exercise. Now these exercises we're going to go through can be done once, they can be done multiple times. If you might be dealing with a lung congestion or going through a period of grief, we can repeat these numerous times. But it's really an individual's choice. But really just running through the 6 healing sounds in a few minutes in the morning or later in the day can have tremendous benefit to our health. Let's look at this one once more. I'm smiling down to my lungs. My feet are flat on the floor. I'm going to follow my hands with my breath in. Drop my shoulders, the head is tilted back, bring the head back, and bring the arms down. We can always take a moment between each of the elements and each of the healing sounds just to be still and let the effect ripple through our bodies. Metal feeds water in the 5 elements, and the waters are associated with the kidneys. The healing sound is starting with the W. We're going to be breathing in gentleness, alertness, stillness, and gratitude. We're going to breathe out fear, anxiety, shock, and stress. Our affirmations we can utilize are: you are resolute, you are courageous, and you are graceful. We begin with our awareness coming to the kidneys. I'd like to bring my hands and hold them in the lumbar region, just under the floating ribs where the kidneys reside, smiling down to the kidneys. The simple exercise is going to look like this. I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to bring my heels and my knees together. I'm going to breathe in. And I'm going to tilt my head back. I'm going to pull with my hands. I'm going to pull my navel towards my sacrum, and I'm going to tighten into my core. And I'm going to use this sound. Ooh. So it's going to look like this. I'm going to breathe in. And during the in-breath, I'm going to come and grab my knees. I'm going to pull, continuing my inhale. And with my exhale, I'm going to go. Ooh. Release, and come back up. Now as I do that pull into my knees and I contract into my core, I really feel a dynamic stretch into the low back where the kidneys are housed. Let's look at that one once more. I'm smiling down to my kidneys. I'm going to bring my knees and my heels together, my ankles together. I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to grasp the fingers. I can either grasp interlocking or hold like this. It really is individual. I'm going to look up, and then I'm going to pull and stretch. I'm going to exhale. Come back up. Smile down to the kidneys. Recognizing that you've been letting go of fear and stress and shock and anxiety, and breathing in gentleness and gratitude. Water feeds wood, and the main element associated with wood is liver. The secondary organ is the gallbladder. The healing sound is an SH, a shh. Hush, little baby, shh. As we do the liver exercise, we're going to breathe in kindness and generosity, forgiveness, self-expansion, and self-identity. We're going to let go and breathe out anger and aggression and depression. Our affirmations we can utilize are you are kind, you are benevolent, and you are authentic. Our liver resides just below the right breast area, protected by the ribs on our right side. I'm smiling down to the liver. Let the hands rest on the thighs to begin the exercise. I'm going to breathe in. I'm using my peripheral vision to watch my hands rise slowly up. Following my hands up. I'm going to interlock the hands. I'm going to rotate the palms. I'm going to lean to the left so I feel this stretch all along the right where the liver resides. And I'm going to breathe. When I'm ready for my exhale, it's going to be relax the hands, let the arms float down. One thing to keep in mind with that exercise, that Qigong exercise, is when we stretch to the side, we want to do a lateral stretch. We don't want to lean forward, we don't want to lean back. Let's look at it again. Palms are up. I'm going to breathe in, raising my arms, using the peripheral vision just to follow the hands a little bit. Breathing in. Interlocking, rotating, leaning and stretching, pulling so you feel that. And with the exhale, it'll be keep the chin up also. Come back to neutral, drop the shoulders, let the arms float down. Do that one more time. Breathing in. This time I won't talk the whole way through, but breathe in. we can bring our attention back to the liver. Our livers work so hard to cleanse and detoxify the blood and to create lymph in our bodies. Wood feeds fire in the 5 phases, the 5 element cycle. The organs related to the fire are going to be the heart and the small intestine. The sound is going to be an HAW. When we work with the heart and the fire energy, we're going to breathe in love and joy and happiness, honor, sincerity, creativity and enthusiasm. We're going to breathe out and let go of impatience and arrogance, hastiness, cruelty, and violence. Affirmations we can use with the heart energy are: you are appropriate, you are responsible, and you are loving. The heart exercise is almost identical, except for a mirror image of the liver or wood exercise. So you already know it. We're going to breathe in, coming up, watching the hands for our peripheral vision, inhaling, trying to keep the shoulders away from the ears. Come up, interlock, and we're going to lean to the right, stretching the area where the heart resides on our left upper thorax. And when we're ready for our exhale, we're going to go back, and drop my shoulders, and float my hands down. Let's come back, because I left it out that time, and just really, before we even do our breathing exercise, smile to the heart. Recognize the emotional wonder of our hearts, but also that physiological wonder of our hearts, that pumping muscle that's so vital each moment, each breath, pumping, hundreds, thousands of times a day to maintain the vitality of our human existence. Smiling to the heart, showing gratitude to the heart. And we're ready, we're going to let the palms come down, resting. Being very clear with our intentionality that we're working with the heart and the fire energy. I'm going to breathe in, following the hands up. Interlock, rotate and press out. Lateral stretch to the right, keeping the feet grounded, chin up. And we're ready for exhale. We go. Come back to neutral. Drop the shoulders. Float the hands down. And be still. Shining love to our hearts. Fire feeds earth in the 5 phases. In Chinese traditional medicine, the earth element relates to the pancreas, the spleen, and the stomach. Our sound is going to be more of a guttural. We want to vibrate into our trachea here, starting with a W-hoo sound. Feeling that vibration in the throat. Our spleen, pancreas are here on our middle abdomen. The spleen's actually on our mid-axillary line. Our stomach's right here on the left. Our pancreas crosses. So I'm going to smile down at the spleen, pancreas, the organs related to the earth element. Doing so, I'm thinking to breathe in fairness and openness, compassion, centering and balance. We're going to breathe out worry and anxiety and pity. Our affirmations we can include are: you are sincere, you are faithful, and you are loyal. Our exercise, our Qigong exercise is going to look like this. We're going to breathe, come to our position, just breathing, bringing the breath down, especially for diaphragmatic breathing into the abdomen. There's not a lot of movement here. It's actually a deep compression into our own bodies we're going to do. I'm going to breathe in, and as I breathe in, I'm going to raise my hands. I'm going to come under the ribs on the left side. I'm going to lean forward. I'm going to do a deep compression as I lean forward, pressing and sending energy and vitality. My chin's up, and with my exhale, I'm going to go. Relax the compression, rise back up. You can either have the hands down along the thighs, palms up, or you can maintain them gently into this stomach, spleen, pancreas area on the body. We're going to breathe in. Feet are grounded, especially with earth. We really want to get a sense of our feet grounded and the weight of our body down into our chairs here. So breathe in, compressing, and then exhaling. Up and relax. Now our sixth of the six healing sounds relates to the Sanjiao in Chinese, or the triple warmer, or the triple heater. A few words of explanation are required because for Western physiology, the triple warmer is a totally unknown entity. It really exemplifies the idea of Chinese medical theory that it's the physiology or the functions of an energy of an organ which are more important than the structure, because there is no structure of the triple warmer, where we know we have a structure of the heart and we have the structure of the liver. The triple warmer is an energy of the body which integrates all the other energies of the body. It functions to keep water in balance in our body. Our bodies are approximately 75% water, and this is an aspect of fire energy in the body, which helps maintain balance of water in the body. So we're looking at integrative energy, a harmonizing energy, and a water balancing energy, the Sanjiao or the triple warmer. In the energetics of Chinese medicine, there's very specifically a triple warmer, a Sanjiao meridian, which begins on the ring finger on both hands, comes along the arm, of the posterior of the upper arm, wraps around the ear, and ends at the outer eyebrow. So there's very specifically an energy that is used widely in the clinical practice of Chinese medicine. And it's an important part of the six healing sounds because it's the sound which helps integrate the other five. We're going to use a bit of a high-pitched sound with it. When we're doing the triple warmer healing sound, we're considering to breathe in balance and integrity, harmony, calmness, and fluidity. We're breathing out and letting go of sluggishness and congestion and stagnation. We can work with the affirmations of you are appropriate, you are fluid, and you are harmonious. The exercise is going to look like this. We're going to breathe in from the lower of the triple warmer, from the lower abdomen to the middle and to the thorax. So I'm going to breathe in, raising the hands, following the hands, and when I reach chest height, I'm going to exhale, leaning back. I want to engage my core strength, and I'm going to exhale, making the sound. So with our exercise, we're going to be raising the energy of the triple heater, the three centers, and then we're going to integrate it, pressing down with our exhale. With our exhale, we're going to make the sound. We're going to lean back, we're going to engage our core as we press down. Okay, let's look at that. It's always good in Qigong if you want to bring your visual sense, your eyes, to follow the movement of the hand. So breathe in, leaning back. And then so again, keep in mind that these exercises can be done just once. They can be done even lying down if you're not able to stand up or sit in a chair. They can be done standing also. Some people like to do them standing in a little bit deeper, what we call a horse position, with the knees bent and the spine straight to increase the vitality of the exercise. The exercise will be beneficial, will help harmonize the vibrations of our cells all the way up to the organ levels and into our minds in very beneficial ways. So in conclusion, we've discussed a number of important subjects. We've discussed the 6 healing sounds, the 5 elements, the main organs of the body. We've thought about the body in energetic terms. And we've introduced the modern aspect of neuroscience known as brain entrainment, where we can use sound very specifically to affect the cycles of the mind to enhance our health, bring our mind to a more meditative calmness, and to facilitate a return to health or an enhancement and an increase in vitality. We've looked at practical, proven, and easy to learn ancient techniques. Again, the healing sounds date back to about 400 to 500 AD. The 5 element theory dates back to almost 2 to 3 centuries before the birth of Christ. The Qigong was added later, but it's still over 500 years ago that the Qigong exercises were added to this. And keep in mind that these exercises can be practiced and the healing sounds, and again, we can do the healing sounds without the exercises even. They can be practiced by people young and old, healthy and fit, or ill and infirm, in a way to bring our bodies into harmony and health. That if the body's in a vibratory harmony, the cells of every organ of our body will be in harmony and we're able to bring ourselves to health. Now, the Metta Mindfulness Music Project brought together all of these aspects and created healing sound CDs or downloadable music in a box set titled Ancient Wisdom and Modern Sounds for Health and Healing. Everything I've mentioned to you as far as the sounds are embedded into this, the affirmations are embedded into this, the healing sounds, and the exercises I've demonstrated here now so that you can bring these into your life. I want to thank you very much for taking the time to watch this short video, and I really encourage you to bring healing sounds into your life for your health and wellness. Thank you very much.